Good afternoon and welcome back to My Harlem Portraits. Welcome to a special edition of My Harlem Portraits, one that we could call My World Portraits, because in fact, during all this month of June, I'm going to dedicate this show entirely to the 20th anniversary of the Tribeca Film Festival and the works which are presented by filmmakers and artists from and about countries all over the world. As you know, this show is about Black excellence and resilience. And this festival, which is born on the aftermath of the Twin Towers attack, is reaffirming once again today, although still limited by COVID-19 restrictions and so on, the stern determination that no act of violence will ever be able to curb the spirit of the city and dim the light that its diverse cultural energy has always spread around the world and makes this city unique. Our guests today are the perfect example of such diversity, struggle, and resilience. Welcome to writer, director JOSEF and boxer, actress, and artivist REIS. Welcome to My Harlem Portrait.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I'm really very, very happy that you had the time to dedicate to this interview. Your movie is a compelling thriller that is having its world premiere at Tribeca Film Festival, and it's called Catch the Fair One. And it's produced by the Oscar-winning producer, Molly Asher. Mm-hmm. So thank you, because this is something very important. And tell me one thing, where did you get the title? What does the title refer to?
Sure, no problem. So catch the fair one is an old school saying for basically like a fair fight. You know, someone say, we're gonna go catch the fair one. And the idea is you go out and you fight and no one gets involved, no one jumps in, and two people just duke it out. So in essence, it just means to fight, which is what the heart and the pulse of our character, Kaylee, in the film is ultimately what she's doing. But we also felt it had kind of a double meaning to it as well, because she's searching for her sister and she's trying to catch the fair one, the pure one, which is her sister, which is who she's looking for. And the film kind of has this feeling of memories and stuff like that, and something about catching this memory, catching this sister that has gone away. So we felt like it was a fitting title.
It's very beautiful, especially now that it's been explained. I didn't know about it. So it has various meanings. That's very, very smart. It is a very hard movie to watch, but it's a very compelling movie. And the storytelling, it brings out a lot of conflicts, like, for example, the conflict with the mother, with Kelly and the mother, the abuse of the abuser by his own father, and all these kind of situations. I would like, and the photography in this movie is absolutely wonderful. So congratulations to the cinematographer, because it's fantastic.
It's a shout out to Ross Giardina, our cinematographer. Very talented man.
Absolutely talented. And then I looked at the name, and he has an Italian name, and Italians are well known.
Yes, he's Australian. He's Australian, but he's Italian. His family, he comes from generations of Italians in Australia. So yes, but he's very Italian still, even though he's Australian.
Italian place, because this is from the very first shot. It's captivating, and every shot is just really amazing. So I loved it. I would like you to introduce yourself a little bit, because for you, Joseph, this is your second feature for Tribeca, and you won the Best New Narrative Director Award, right? So tell me a little bit about your experience. And then I would like to ask to Kali, since you are a real boxer, you are a real fighter, what is your experience in this movie? But I will ask you later.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my debut feature film, Manos Sucias, was in Tribeca in 2014.
2000.
That was another, labor of love. Took many years to make film, and I was so grateful that it was embraced by the festival. And I really have to thank the festival a lot just for, being the first in-person one post-pandemic with all the rough times that we've all been going through the year and a half. And we really need cinema, and for Tribeca to put their neck out online and try to bring it all together. It's a beautiful, powerful thing. So I'm very grateful for that, and also supporting my second film. In between then, I also do a lot of episodic television directing to make a living, to pay my bills. So yeah, I'm just a New York-based filmmaker trying to make films, trying to make thought-provoking films that leave audiences thinking and leave them moved. And so just building upon that, this is only my second film, but yeah, just a filmmaker trying to do the work.
Listen, directing TV movies and TV things is much better than being a waiter in a restaurant, right?
That's correct.
That's what it used to be. Isn't that
Yes.
what it used to be? So
That is correct. I was a waiter. I walked dogs during the day, and I waited tables at night. And yes, that is correct. So yes, it pays
when
the
I
bill.
first arrived in New York, they told me this story that when you ask an actor, when they ask to tell, well, someone tells you what you do, and they say you're an actor, I'm an actor, they say which restaurant you work at.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, you work in TV, that's much better. So Kali, you play a boxer, and in reality, not only you are a professional fighter, but the first Native American to win the International Boxing Association middleweight crown. And you fought in the first female boxing match ever televised on HBO. What made you choose this discipline, which is really man-dominated?
Well, I mean, I've always been sporty. It's Kaylee, by the way, not Callie, but it's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yes, it's the way it's spelled. But I've always been sporty, always been interested in sports. I'm one of 5 kids. I'm a baby in the family. We've always been a huge creative family, very musically inclined. Coming from such a small state, I really didn't think boxing was around, but the more research I did, I kind of ran into some people that had a little knowledge. A friend of my mom's, he's also Native American. He used to fight a little bit. Showed me a couple of things. He didn't take me too serious at first because I was a girl. Of course, he thought I just kind of would not be game for it. But I'm one of those people, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And it was also something that I needed an outlet. Being biracial, being somebody that was two-spirited, very confused with sexuality, come from a single parent household, father was in and out. It got to a point where I needed another expressive outlet. And fighting was chaotic, but it was the first place where my mind would just focus on one thing, and I could actually hone in on things and get those traumas I was going through as a kid out and actually express them. It started off as, oh, this is cool, I get to get paid to punch people in the face and instead of getting in trouble, to actually finding like a purpose for it, being a modern day warrior, if you will, and having coming from such a long line of strong people, being indigenous and being mixed and biracial, I found purpose in it. Everybody has their medicine. You have your own medicine and your own calling, and nobody can tell you what your medicine is. Nobody can tell you how to pray. Nobody can tell you how you feel when you have good intentions behind something. And when I started noticing how the effect I have on people, being a face for the young ones, that I'm indigenous, I'm native, and I'm actually doing something that they look up to, and having that positive influence, it just turned into doing something way bigger than myself. And I just used my platform and my boxing platform as a voice for the voiceless, basically.
And that's why I call you an artivist.
Thank you.
She is.
How did you two meet and decide to embark on this trip voyage together?
Sure. Well, sport is a very good in for this because 2 years ago I was starting to get into boxing, and I was watching it a lot and getting into it, trying to learn a little myself. And through my friend's social media page at Boxing Gym, I found Kaylee, I found KO. And you know, immediately I was drawn to her because she's world-class boxing champion, but also the fact that she's this artist and activist that speaks out on stuff that she really cares about. And I'm a filmmaker, you know, trying to do a similar thing. So I reached out to her to just ask if I could meet up and hang out with her. Borrowed my friend's car. I drove up to Providence, Rhode Island, and brought a little camera, started interviewing her, hanging out with her. And at the time she was training for a fight. And I asked her if I could go along and tag along with her and just kind of video some stuff. And so we go to this archetypical, really tough gym that's hot and sweaty, packed with these world champion dudes, hot and sweaty. And then there's Kaylee just doing her thing, you know, relaxed, hitting the bag. And then it came time to start sparring some guys. So she got into the ring, put her headgear on, and just started going toe to toe. And it was an inexplicable thing as a filmmaker to just see that power, you know. And I knew that there was something really special to her. And one thing that she really advocates for and talks a lot about is the missing, murdered, indigenous crisis in the country and in North America. And it's something that I was looking into and researching as well. So we kind of came together to make this film and came up with the story of siblings we both have older siblings that we, you know, helped raise us and helped take care of us. So I had an initial idea of a woman searching for her sister. And then over the course of 2 years, you know, we working together, preparing her to act in the film. We just continued to work on the story and get her ready to act in it. And then we shot in 2019 at the right before the pandemic. So it was a, you know, two artists collaborating together. What's that?
Shot
In Buffalo.
in Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York. Yeah.
Freezing.
So it's very cold.
Yeah, it looked cold. That's why I was.
It
asking.
was. It was. Very.
I would like to talk about the subject because you said, Kaylee, I wanted our film to represent parts of the dark reality of a missing and murdered Indigenous women epidemic. Tell us about that, because that is something very, very fundamental to talk about, and it's not talked about enough at all.
Well, it's just that it's not talked about enough. It's not on mainstream media, and it's something that it's out of sight, it's out of mind. It's something that us as Indigenous and Native people know about, but people outside of it don't know about it. We do need non-Indigenous allies. We need non-Indigenous help, resources as well, and the more people know about it, the more preventative actions can be taken, the more other perspectives other people can have on it, the more, you know, we can get into political and jurisdiction issues, but Native American and Indigenous women, no matter what land they're Indigenous to, are very targeted. So when people don't care and people don't highlight it, they're more vulnerable by the minute, by the second it happens. And being an Indigenous woman, today is very important because people have this preconceived conception that Native Americans are of the past and we don't do stuff. We just, I don't know, sit in teepees. I don't know. It's very, very one-dimensional. So it's really important to kind of have that parallel of representing missing and murdered Indigenous women in my boxing as well as this film, so people can be aware. The more people are aware, the more preventative actions and action in general can take place.
You can use your platform to speak out and talk about this stuff, but how is that happening? And is it happening everywhere in the country, or there are specific places where it's more, it happens more often?
I mean, the more populated and the bigger the reservation or the Native American community is, and especially the sovereignty and this when you're segregated, it happens a little bit more, especially where there's a bunch of pipelines being drilled. There's a bunch of man camps that are going up there to work these pipelines for years on end. So the demand for these exotic looking women and these girls are gonna be, it's a market. It's a sad market, it's a disgusting market, but it's a market nonetheless. So people hop on what's hot. Things like that don't get talked about. Man camps, especially the borders between Canada and the US, is probably the hottest spots for sex trafficking for Indigenous women. And it happens everywhere. This is another thing with this film, is that it brings awareness. It happens in your backyard. It can happen to somebody that you may know, or you might know somebody that knows somebody that has experienced this. It's a lot closer to everybody's doorstep than you would realize. It's not just one area or one type of person. It's not, these women are not, or these girls are not signing up for this. They're getting groomed, or they're getting kidnapped, they're getting drugged. There's so many different case scenarios. Social media is a big part of it as well, too.
This is so terrible. One more thing about your name I want to know, because you were talking about your given name, Maquinonoag.
Close, very close.
Close,
It's Maquinanog.
okay.
That was good. That was good.
Tell us what it means, because I found it so beautiful and poetic.
It means many feathers, which also means many talents, or I wear many hats. My mom, it was a given name by my mother. She named me very well. I am a person of many talents and many hats, and this one found a talent that I didn't even know I had. I'll always try something. If it's not for me, it's not meant for me, but this clearly was meant for me, being the storyteller. So that's what that means, many, holder of many talents.
And it's very fitting as a director, you know, I mean, it took us a long time to prepare her to be in this film, you know,
Yes.
to act, but she was a natural at it. Even when we're doing, you know, highly designed, very technical shots, you have to hit your mark, you have to hit the light, all this, and it just was second nature to her. So it's a very fitting name.
Thanks, Gentle Rain. That's my mom.
It is beautiful. And the premiere
Olivia,
is,
last question, please.
sorry?
Emily,
Last question, please.
Yes. And it's 3 more minutes. So what is the message that you want to send people, both from a filmmaker's point of view and from the main actor's point of view about this movie, but about in general being in the arts and using the arts?
well, I think for me, you know, as a filmmaker, I wanted to make a film that was cinematic, that was compelling, had tension and suspense, to bring a different type of audience in that normally wouldn't watch a film like this. And I think using genre is a way to do that. But by using genre, you're allowed to tackle certain themes and stuff and explore it in a film. So I wanted to make a film that was really a ride, you know, a powerful ride that rips the audience through this journey and puts, in no way, shape, and form is it an answer or solution to anything, but puts more of the feelings of the frustration and the pain and the rage on the shoulders of our main character, Kaylee, takes them through this journey, punches them in the gut, and leaves them thinking, you know, leaves them in a place to think. And I think that's hopefully, you know, that's what the film does, and not in a heavy-handed way either, you know what I mean? And just makes people talk and have conversations, and, you know, good or bad, as it's at the end of the day, it's a piece of art, you know what I mean? So it's our artistic interpretation coming together as two artists. But as a filmmaker, yeah, I want it's important to engage the audience and move them and entertain them, you know, because it's a narrative film, but also leave them thinking.
You definitely did with that, definitely. Kaylee.
I mean, just the kind of same thing. It's just to actually draw people in, like with boxing, the same platform. It's very, very parallel. I have a voice, I want to use it. So I draw people in by becoming a 4-time world champion. And, you know, I have the entrance, but I have purpose and I have substance for what I fight for. So now that I have the stage and the mic is on, I'm going to use it to the best of my ability to bring this awareness. And just like this film, yes, it's shot beautifully. It does have themes to it. It's a thriller. It's, you know, it's crazy ride, but it also has so many hidden themes into it. So to draw the audience in with the boxing, with the thriller, that's great. Now that we have your attention, pay attention and really gather those themes and that message that we're trying to portray.
I think that this is the kind of thing that could start a movement. You could really use that to start a movement to bring awareness on this subject, because I think this is fundamental for people to know. And for you being at your first film, it's amazing that the premiere of your first film is at Tribeca Film Festival in New York. I mean, not
Absolutely.
everybody can say that, right?
No, I've been blessed beyond measure to this whole opportunity all around.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for this interview. Thank you for having given me the time for that. Congratulations again. Best wishes for this festival and for your future. What's in your mind for your future with this movie? What are you thinking?
You mean dream scenario? What happens to it? I
Mhm.
mean, it gets distributed and people get to see it, you know? That's
You're
at the end of the
bringing it
day.
to other festivals after this?
Oh, yeah, it will, yeah, I'm sure we'll go on the festival circuit and then hopefully, you know, have some sort of distribution, but depending on, it's such a strange time for movies right now because of the pandemic and everything, so, but still hopeful for that, to maybe have a theatrical release or something.
I'm pretty sure you will do that. Hold my
Fingers
fingers
Thank you.
crossed for that. Okay, so thank you again and best wishes for this week and for the future. And
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
Thank you, Maria.
and thank you for our viewers. See you next Saturday, 12:30, same time. Bye-bye.
You touching?